Hello, people. It's only me again. I just thought, you know what? I was going to go live, and it doesn't really matter what anyone thinks. Hopefully, you're all doing okay. You can hear me. It's Friday night on a Friday here, but of course, let's see if we can get some light on this. But of course, most people will be tucked up in bed or still at work in the USA. Just testing the lighting. Hopefully you're all okay. This is just completely random. I'm just going to go for it just because it's something to do. This is matching mode, of course. Robert Wyatt's birthday was the other day. So I thought, well, let's just show a little bit of Robert Wyatt, the master. He's one of those people who, he never generates hate. He's one of those, he's just a great, great guy. If people are going to say hello, that would be great. Then I'll keep on. I may end this and start again in a second because sometimes with lighting, let me just get this correct. Let's see. We'll see. You have to let me know what the sound is like. You let me know if you can hear me, if the music's too loud or whatever. But anyway, Robert Wyatt's birthday the other day. It's a fantastic man, of course. As I say, he never really generates hate. He's impossible not to like, really. I think his voice, I've heard people say they don't really like his voice. Now, I don't really get that at all. Someone did say once, I think it was Motoric, wanted to catch one of it. Well, it's kind of you to say that, and I watched your last video and some incredibly unusual records, as always. Beautiful stuff. I just thought I'd go ad-lib, I'm quite enjoying this ad-lib stuff. I think everyone should just go live, because it's just fun. Anyway, it's his birthday the other day. And, you can't hate Robert Wyatt. He's just one of those characters. A funny story, many years ago, Caravan did a gig where they were coming back, and they did their previous head teacher's school. Long story, but anyway, it was a tiny little village hall in the middle of Norfolk in England, and everyone who was anyone at the time was there. Kevin Ayres and people were all in the audience, all these different characters who we weren't really aware of at the time. And I remember a guy in a wheelchair, and I thought afterwards, oh my goodness, that was Robert Wyatt. I was dancing around. There was only about 4 or 5 of us who were in our 20s, and the rest were maybe about 40, same sort of age as Caravan were at the time. And we were just thrashing around. I had long hair and everything. I remember crashing into his chair. Oh my goodness, I actually crashing into Robert Wyatt. He gave me the biggest scowl ever. But, I deserved it. But at the same time, we're young. We're kind of like, we were shouting out, play Ride off the first album, because it's just such a great track. But they didn't do it. But anyway, matching well, great. As I say, Robert Wyatt's birthday the other day. So I thought I'd just show that. I have randomly pulled, like of all these other videos, I'm just randomly pulling and just making up as I go along. The sound is probably not good. I can tell the light is not great. I hope we're not getting lots and lots of trails, because it can be hard to watch. Please let me know if there's any kind of issues with that sort of stuff. It was sad. I actually did get all of Caravan's autographs at the end of that night, though. So that including Jimmy Hastings, all on their first album. So that was a good thing. But, we didn't really have a clue. We were, at that time as well, of course, you didn't have the internet. You didn't really know what people looked like so much. And It was definitely him, and he was living in Lincoln at the time, or near Lincoln at the time, and yeah, it's one of my claims to infamy. I have a few. Anyway, I'm just randomly pulling records. I don't know who else is watching. I've got 5 watchers, no one else speaking. Do I know Rustin Man? No, and I'd like to know more about it. That would be fantastic if you could let me know. Anyway, yeah, these are just randomly pulled. I just thought, well, I haven't really shown these records before. Okay, I will check him out, and it's good to have this because now it's recorded forever on YouTube, and I can see it and go back. Anyway, yeah, randomly pulling records. I've been listening to this on and off. This is 3 tons of sobs. Now this is, I couldn't believe how good this was. I was absolutely blown away by how good this was. The one thing against it maybe are the lyrics. The lyrics are a bit misogynistic, you know, a little bit, okay, they're very kind of like sexual and stuff, but not in a kind of loving way, just in the kind of, I'm going to have you, woman, and you're going to do as you're told. And that kind of thing can grate a little bit. You know, maybe when you're 17, 18, I suppose, like these guys were. Yeah, then it may have more of a kind of effect and more of a power. But aside from that, the guitar on this, I mean, it just blows you away. The production, the pressing is amazing. It's just incredible to hear, and it just leaps out of the speakers. And it has it's almost like a live feel in your living room. It's an amazing sounding record, this. And it's not really a bad, so I want to say the lyrics for a little bit. But fundamentally, wow. You know, I wasn't expecting too much. I've heard a lot of Ray down the years, but I've never actually heard this album all the way through. And to hear it all the way through, it just was a bit of a blow away, I must say. It blew me away somewhat. Let me know, please, if you can't really hear me or if the music's too loud in the background or whatever. Yeah, great stuff. I don't know if any of you have heard this album. Probably. It's fairly common, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, we're just picking and pulling. Jackie McLean's For Connection with the Freddie Red Quartet. Now this is the kind of jazz, to me, it's a little bit, it's alright, but it's not the best thing in the world, you know. It's okay, but you know, a lot of jazz nuts will say how great this album is, and I'm sure it probably is. But to me, it's a little bit too kind of like, it's good for background, but it's not something which engages my ear or kind of grabs me. The reason why I have it is because, you know, I find this stuff cheap, and when I do find it cheap, I just pick it up because I always wanted to hear something new, something exciting, something which is going to... Okay. Well, in fact, this had quite a bit back music. Well, that's okay, because I can just turn it down. If that's actually kind of distracting, it's best to get rid of it. Yeah, I like to find something new, exciting, a bit interesting, you know, just going to kind of like take me somewhere. I've been saying that a lot lately. I want music which is going to take me somewhere. And I think that's maybe fundamentally partly due to where I am in life. You know, you kind of sometimes need more to escape a kind of a dull situation. And, I've noticed in my last few videos I've been saying that a lot. I've always had that with music to some degree, but not just with music, with literature, with film, with TV, whatever it may be, with art. There's always a sense of I want more. But I've noticed it's definitely been a theme of late. So this is why I pick stuff up, and I think, well, maybe it's going to take me kind of to somewhere else. And I think as a sort of longing maybe for something new and a kind of new direction. And it's a kind of just a theme of my life at the moment. Um, but this album, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would say it's a wonderful record. It doesn't really do a huge amount for me. I do say that a lot, don't I? And people probably think, why? Like, keep saying, why is he collecting records? But as I say, that's part of the reason. It's that new thing. It's that sound. It's that expression of something deep within me, which I can connect with, and which takes me to another level. Because it's not just about hearing the sound. It's about a sense of passion, and it's a sense of almost like the soul and where we're going, in our lives. And we need that kind of deep connection. We need that kind of richness sometimes to enhance our lives. And that's the kind of thing I look for in things. I know that you aren't really going to find that in everything you come across, but occasionally these things resonate with you and stay with you, and things for 20 years can stay with you, 30 years, 40 years can stay with you in a form of nostalgia, but also in a kind of in the present tense. So you're not looking back and going, oh, wasn't that a wonderful time when I first experienced so and so, but you're saying it has still the same power and the same resonance in the present as it did in the past. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling, and I always feel like if I'm not showing a record at all, people are just going to switch off. Which is possibly true. I've just lost someone. Let me just show another record or two. Yeah, maybe let me turn this down because it's distracting me. This is, God, the lighting's so bad, isn't it? Let me see. Miller Anderson, Bright City, and at the moment maybe Dark City. Now, I heard a couple of tracks off here, and I thought, wow, this is fantastic. This is my kind of thing. I need to hear this. And I found a really cheap copy of it. But the funny thing about it is, every single track is kind of different from the one prior to it, and as a result, it's a little bit patchy. It doesn't really work cohesively as an album. There are some really good things on here, but it's like it doesn't sit as a whole album. You have to kind of it's a bit like the Beatles' Revolver, you have to kind of, every other song, you have to kind of like readjust your ears, if you like, and to accept something new. And that's a little bit like that with this album. It's not a bad album. I mean, I'm going to say like a 3 out of 5 stars, and personally, it's not a bad album at all, but it's not the album I was anticipating, because the stuff I'd heard of it was like, wow, this is going to be fantastic, but it doesn't work as a complete piece. Not every album has to be absolutely the same from start to finish, of course. Most albums aren't, but when they're so different from track to track, it can be quite difficult and slightly jarring for the ear. That may just be me. I do tend to kind of, I don't know. There's something about it. There's something about music to me which it has to connect. And if it's slightly something distracts me from the mood or from what I'm actually listening to at the time, even the record itself, it can be kind of off-putting and a little bit. Like, I suppose that's probably why a lot of people nowadays don't listen to albums all the way through. You pick your best songs, you pick the things you like, and then you'll pick another album often. I hear people say a lot about like psych albums now. Oh, it's a fantastic album, especially this track. They'll play the track and then they'll move on to another album and play a different track of another album. It's quite hard, I think, after being into music for so long, it's contentious perhaps, to find an album which works all the way through, especially in the terms of an album of songs. Now, an album of, say, like jazz or world music, even a lot of different world music where you've got 2 or 3 pieces across the entire sides. You know, that changes, that sort of that changes the kind of dynamic. But I think with an album of songs, it can be quite difficult and quite distracting. No, you didn't miss anything, believe me. How can you possibly miss much? This is just me rattling on. And although I have some watching, no one else has commented. I'd love another comment. It'd be nice to see who else is here. Maybe they're doing what you do, just switch on the watch. And it's true, it really is. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if you know this album. It's definitely a good album, but not the greatest. I'm kind of rushing through a bit of this because, like I said, I'm on edge. What are people going to think? But yeah, I suppose what I like about your style, especially, is you're so calm. You take your time to express. You take your time to kind of divulge all that you know about it and all that you feel about it, and that's a really fantastic thing. Really, I should do that. Just have a bit more confidence in myself. Okay, yeah, definitely have a look at him. It's a good album, Bright City. Like I say, a little bit patchy. I wish I could get this lighting right. I've got like 4 or 5 lamps on and everything, but still, when it gets to summertime and the light is better, this laptop will be so much better. Hello, how are you doing? It's nice to see you. I know people are probably going to get sick of me. I'm always on it now. I just think, why not? You know, Norman Maslow can do it, you know, on a big scale. Let me do it on a small scale, a small UK tiny scale. Okay, let's have a look at this. Tim Harden, the best of. Probably the best way to hear him as an initial kind of introduction. And I think this is actually the very best of. I mean, it is literally the best of. Apart from, and I say this all the time, there's always one track that bugs me, and it's Smuggling Man. It doesn't fit, you know. You got this. You got these wonderful songs. Don't Make Promises. It'll Never Happen Again. Misty Roses. How Can We Hang On to a Dream? You know, these beautiful, beautiful songs. This is buy this because it is cheap and it is the best of the best. Apart from Smuggling Man, which just doesn't fit. If I Were a Carpenter, Reason to Believe, Black Sheep Boy, Red Balloon, Lady Came from Baltimore. I mean, it's such a shame what happened to this man. The incredible songwriting genius and the ability to come up with what he came up with in less than 2 minutes normally as well. Astonishing. No. I'd say if you'll recognise the songs, If I Were a Carpenter, Reason to Believe, How Can We Hang On to a Dream. A couple of his songs are on the Gandalf album, covered. Not like Dylan, he's better. His melodies are beautiful, his vocals are beautiful, there's a sort of fragility to him. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And also, like I say, most of the songs are like 2 minutes or less. Just wonderful. Definitely check this album out. Well, if you just go on Discogs and have a quick listen to 2 or 3 songs, you'll know exactly what I mean straight away, that it kind of connects with the mind, but also the heart. It's a shame that he ended up the way he did as a heroin addict and dying young. I mean, I just can't understand how sometimes these people, their trajectory can be so amazingly kind of like advanced and so quick and so, well, how can you say it? It's almost like precocious, if you like. And then they drop down so quickly. It's just such a shame. But this is a lovely, lovely record, and I don't think you'd ever be disappointed if you bought this because it's timeless. timeless. Some of his songs have been, they become standards because they are so good. And don't think, oh, if I were a carpenter, you'd be, oh, well, that's a rubbish song. It's not. The way he plays this, I mean, it's just beautiful. Beautiful music. I'm just going to take a sip of something. Well, I mean, I'm saying he's not a Dylan kind of thing. Other people might say, yes, he definitely is. But I don't think he has that. It's not the same for me, not at all. On a similar kind of ilk is Arlo Guthrie, Hobo's Lullaby. Now, Arlo Guthrie, he gets shown occasionally in the VC. I don't think he gets enough love, really. I think some of the problem is a lot of his albums are a little bit kind of patchy. Maybe, you got they're quite strong in places, and also you got one or two weaker moments. Now, I'm going to step out and say that I think the weaker moments are when he covers Woody Guthrie's songs. It doesn't work. Woody Guthrie was his own man, did his own thing. And I understand, obviously, if you're the son of someone as great as that, you're going to want to kind of give him some kind of recognition and obviously perhaps love his stuff. Alice's Restaurant is, for me, side one. You've got Highway in the Wind, Chilling of the Evening, timeless songs, and I've loved them for many years. It's when I first heard them, I thought, wow, these are fantastic songs, and I never tire of those songs. But also, on this album, you've got very, very strong material. Lightning Bar Blues is absolutely excellent. Somebody Turned on the Light is a great track. But the last two, Days Are Short and Hobo's Lullaby itself, lovely, lovely, lovely pieces of music. Kind of wistful, reflective, not sentimental, but maybe there's a sort of sentimentality to it. There's a sense of an understanding of humanity, an understanding of what it is to be human, an understanding of what it is to be maybe down and out, like with the Hobo's Lullaby song. But there's a real connection there with the man. And Days Are Short as well. It's just a lovely little reflection on, days are short, but I'm not down. I'm not going to let it worry me. I'm just gonna feel it. I'm just gonna live it. I'm just gonna experience it and enjoy it. And it's a lovely thing. And I recommend it. It's not a 5-star album at all. You've got one or two sort of little rags, which I quite like, those sort of rags where they're just playing the ukuleles and stuff, and they sound quite nice, but they slightly jar against the more reflective, emotive material. But as an album, it works very nicely. The Alice's Restaurant film I haven't seen for a long, long time. A long, long time. I can't remember hardly anything about it. Oh, hello, John. Your famous "What's all this then" line. Yeah, I'm just doing my usual. I'm just hitting the random button, whatever. Just go for it. I quite enjoy doing this, and if it's a shame the lighting's so bad, but I'd like to know how you are anyway. I'm sure you're doing well. Thank you for liking my Instagram earlier. I thought you would. I thought you would like that one. When I put it on now, I thought, yeah, John will like this. But anyway, it's a lovely, lovely album, and I think in some ways it's better than Alice's Restaurant. Well, I think for me it's better than Alice's Restaurant. It's perhaps for me his best album. So just pulling albums at random again. More 90s dance music. And this is the thing, you see, people kind of, in the VC, it never gets mentioned. And it should be mentioned. And it's electronic music. And it's beautiful. Some of it is absolutely fantastic. You just can't beat it. And, I like weird stuff. I like avant-garde music. I like all stuff all the way across the board. I don't kind of just narrowly go into one area. And the dance music to me is some of it is phenomenal. I mean, obviously you get into a Prodigy and stuff like that, the breakbeat stuff, and that is still sounds amazing now. But some of the stuff, when you find these old 12, I find a lot of old 12 inches when I play them, I think, what the? This is incredible, absolutely amazing. But the problem is they don't really show up well on screen, do they? And, people are going to go, who is he talking about? I've never heard of that person. Switch off, who cares? But I did think about doing a techno video. I said it a long time ago, and maybe I will. Maybe I will. Let's just have a little bit of that. Freaky. Okay. Here, Miles Davis on the corner. Yada, yada, yada. Everyone knows it. Like I said, I'm saying it for all new people. I just randomly pulled. What I loved about this album when I first heard it, maybe, I don't know if you've got a lot of techno stuff as well, John. You probably have, because every time I kind of post stuff on Instagram, you are like, yeah, oh, yeah, bring it on, I'm sure you probably got quite a lot yourself. It'd be interesting to see some of yours as well. But anyway, what I love about this album, yeah, and it is a leap. I know when I was young, especially, I never liked dance music. I was like, oh, anti-dance, no way, man. And in fact, I remember a friend of mine, he got heavily into ecstasy to the point where he went away for a couple of months and he moved away. And when he came back, he was a different person. And he was just completely into the rave culture. And he had lost it. His mind had gone. And all he could talk about was throwing shapes on the dance floor. And he'd lost complete connection with reality, which was a sad thing to behold, I must say. But I didn't associate all dance music with that. But there was an element of the rave music culture, especially, that I kind of frowned upon. And I used to kind of look down on dance music, thinking it was kind of idiots' music almost. But it really isn't. I mean, it's fantastic, some of it. Absolutely fantastic. What I love about On the Corner is the sparseness of the sound, that kind of tinny, stripped back sound. And the repetition is just marvelous. I mean, this is like dance music before dance music came. Before disco, it's absolutely fantastic. That kind of stripped back, almost kind of holding you at arm's length kind of sound. I mean, it's an amazing feeling. And I like the fact, and people are going to go, what, you heretic? But to me, it's like, I quite like the fact that the trumpet is not right in your face and it's not kind of all over everything, and it's not like a lot of jazz music for like solo, someone else solo, someone else solo, someone else solo, back to the melody end. I like the fact it's stripped back, it's restrained. Restrained is the word. And it's the restraint that I love about this. And it's like it never quite takes off. And I love it because of that. I know the live album, it takes off far more, but this really kind of holds in a place. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people, I go Jack Johnson and stuff, and it's like almost like as soon as that album was over, that's it. Where did he go? What happened with Miles Davis? He went completely off the wall. But I think you have to think of it almost in terms that it's not Miles Davis in a way. It's like it's not. It's a bit like Beefheart and people like that and Bowie. They change, and they have periods. A bit like Picasso, They have that periods, and maybe people have a problem with it as well because it's hard to connect with. There is a sort of coldness to the music, as a sort of frigidity almost. It's not like funk. It's supposed to be kind of like funky, but it's not funky. It's cold funk. It's almost like robotic funk. It hasn't got the feel which a lot of funk albums have. They kind of they're warm sounding and inviting, and they grab your attention. Whereas this is like, it's almost like funk craft work or something. It's that kind of sound. It's kind of clinical. I think that's what it is. But maybe he just summed it up. A bonkers LP. As me waxing all these different words, and maybe just summed it up beautifully there. Yeah, but I don't know what anyone else thinks of this album. I don't know what John thinks of this album. But to me, it does have that. You have to kind of almost distance yourself from trying to connect with it, and just let it play, and don't get close to it, because it's not going to get close to you. Yeah, I get that. I get that entirely, because the jazz world is massive. I know what I like when I hear it. Like I say, a lot of jazz, I say a lot, but quite a bit of jazz leaves me cold. It's a predictability of it. Although all music is predictable in a lot of ways. But I know what I like when I hear it. And sometimes it can be free jazz, and sometimes it can be lounge jazz. It just does something to me. I'm sure we all had that. Oh, okay. You'll have to, next time you do a video, you'll have to wax lyrical on that. That'd be interesting. Okay, yeah, do that. That'd be really good if you could do that. I love that early 70s Miles period. It took me a while to get into it, though. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like it holds you away, doesn't it? It's like, you're not going to like me. You're not. You're just not going to like me. And then it connects. It actually kind of clicked with me straight away, but maybe it was just the right time. But like I say, I still like it because it isn't completely jazz-tastic. I like the coldness to it. Alright, we're going to go. Oh, in fact, I'll just show one more in a sort of similar ilk before I move on. God, it's such a shame about this camera. Get me to 1,000 subs and I can use my mobile. Headhunters, survival of the fittest. Now, again, this isn't straight jazz at all. I like Herbie Hancock's Headhunters album. It's not straight jazz. There's some funk elements to it, soulful elements to it. But what I love about this, and everyone will probably say the same thing, is God Made Me Funky. What a great track that is. They're not messing around there. I love the fact that I just love the fact that they're playing that wonderful groove, and they're saying God made me funky, and they're just hitting it hard. And even then, when they stop with the when they stop with the vocals, when they go into that fantastic, they hit it even harder. They just, God, the first time I heard that, it just blew me away, and I've never tired of that track. Absolutely colossal. Now the rest of the album, does it live up to it? John will say, yes, of course, it's a 5 out of 5 star album. I don't think it's a 5 out of 5 star album at all. I think it's a 4 out of 5 star album. But I think it's really hard to maintain the quality of God Made Me Funky across the entire record. It's like it's almost like a class of its own, that song. It's not that there are not really any other songs or anything else really that sounds like it by them or by anyone else. And I think it just stands alone. I first heard it on a Blaxploitation CD compilation. There was 4 of them released in the early 90s, and I was getting into the funk thing at the time and exploring a new world to my ears at that point. And that was on there, and just like, wow, this is awesome. And, I wanted to hear every track like that. Everything had to sound exactly like that. Check it out. Check it out. Check out God Made Me Funky by the Headhunters. I mean, it's a 9-minute track. It's a little bit longer, 9.5 minutes. But absolutely sublime. That middle section, Yes, they are wonderful comps. Please check out that first track. It's just wonderful. It's so kind of life affirming and at the same time kind of dark and dirty and kind of gritty. It's got something of the streets about it, but also something of kind of the spiritual and the church about it. It's like it's an amazing piece of music. Maybe I'm waxing lyrical. I'm going too overboard, but for me, that's how I see it. Ultimately, I'm kind of realistic. Music is music, but at the same time, it can do much more than just be a sound hitting our eardrums. It can resonate with our souls. I'll probably have to delete this video for this nonsense. Anyway, let me just take a look. Now I'm going to go East of Eden. Yes, exactly. I've got the original Mega Brain. I've got it just up there, actually, in the cupboard. And of course, everyone knows it. Well, I say everyone knows it. People are beginning to come across it, those who haven't heard it before, and realise just how good that is. I think maybe there's an exaggerated kind of importance to that album. I think it's for kind of a long, sort of drawn-out guitar of Eddie Hazel, and goes, wow, this is amazing. But for me, the best tracks on that album are the kind of funky heavies, like Super Stupid and stuff like that. They're the ones that really kind of elevate it. Because Wars of Armageddon doesn't quite cut it for me. It's like a kind of cover version of the title track that doesn't quite work. One day I'll hold an album up and I'll say it's a 5-star album and I love it from start to finish. I'm sure if we were all honest, we'd say most albums aren't quite 5-star. But anyway, please disagree with me. Yes. Yeah, and it's been uncertain times since it was written. And it's fantastic. Fantastic to have you here, Steve. I mean, absolutely fantastic. This is East of Eden, Snafu. Situation normal or fouled up. Yes, we're getting sort of slightly boringly proggy for those people who don't really like prog. This is on Deerham, 1970. This is a fantastic little record. Absolutely fantastic. Now, I've shown Mercator Projected, which is also a great album. This is far more kind of constrained and tight and less kind of whimsical in terms of kind of, that album was more about kind of New Kingdom Egypt, if you like. Whereas this is far more kind of down to earth and kind of rigid, but the tight playing on this is exceptional. Yes, you say luckily in terms of, yes, you can carry on looking for it because it's bound to exist somewhere. It's got to, I've got to keep looking. But there are albums, let's be honest, which we play all the way through, which are listenable and kind of near perfect. In fact, there are definitely albums I'd probably say I would never kind of get rid of or never kind of like denounce in any way at all. Please do. And Mercator Projected is the first, and this one. Beyond that, you don't need anything else. Please don't look anywhere else. After this, they just went completely downhill. The band members all changed, and it was rubbish. But the first two albums are very, very good. This has got incredibly good, unusual time signatures. It's a bit like, Egg had unusual time signatures, but they were more kind of proggy, pretentious. This is really tight playing. Really tight, and just ear-capturingly good. Like, wow, what is this? Just unbelievable. I have to whack it up. It's a bit of a sort of throwaway opener, really, for 2 months. And you've got like they would do sort of 3 or 4 tracks in one, so you've got these sequences of tracks, and it works really well. And the thing that makes this, you've got Dave Arbus on violin, who's just stunning and creates some amazing sound. Great sax player. Now, sax in prog albums can be a little bit like, oh, sucks your teeth on edge. But this is not cheesy in any way, shape, or form. This is powerful stuff. The bass is amazing. But the thing that makes this for me is the guitar. The rhythm guitar work on this. Now, most people talk about guitarists in terms of lead guitar work. And rhythm guitar tend to get overlooked. I haven't heard anyone say anything good about a rhythm guitarist ever in the VC for sure. It's always lead guitar, lead guitar, lead guitar. You know, Homo Sapiens is an underrated guitar player. So yes, you know, I know because everyone says that, you know, because everyone knows he's actually a very good guitar player. But you hear a really good rhythm guitar player, never really gets spoken about. But this guy, wow, he's so tight and so crisp and amazing. But at the same time, he can turn out a fantastic little solo when he needs to. This is a fantastic album. I highly recommend it. And I think even if you're not into kind of prog or anything like that, yes, okay, but Keith Richards again. It's funny, isn't it? Because I suppose you don't really sort of think of him as a kind of rhythm guitar player. Solely rhythm. Malcolm Young, perhaps the finest rhythm guitar player, along with Rick Parfitt, he was told, yeah, and I think I would use, oh dear, I'm going to say they're like twins, you know. They're beautifully perfect together. Malcolm Young is a stunning, stunning player. And Rick Parfitt as well from Status Quo. He was told, or there was a review of one of the first albums or one of the first gigs in the early 70s when they went into the kind of a boogie and heavier rock. And the review was that he was like a metronome. And that always stuck with him. And as a result, he was always like a metronome. And he kept that consistency all the way through. And a few years ago, when Status Quo, the original Frantic Four, were joined up for a few gigs, and a couple of the old members came in and they did some gigs. Apparently, the current bass player, did say that he held it together because the drummer was out of time a lot of the time. The bass player was ill and he wasn't really doing so well. I will show you my copy of that Margarita time if you like. Do I have more than one? I may have more than one. Yes, and I don't care. Because when I listen to it now, it's like anything. I said this the other day. If you listen to stuff on the radio, it has a sort of weak, sort of flaccid sort of sound. I said this about Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. When you listen to the album, it's like that exceptional production on the album. It just blew my head clean off. And it just leapt out of the speakers. And it's the same when you hear anything which you haven't on record, I think, or on CD, but you haven't actually heard other than on the radio. When you hear it, it's like, wow, this is all right. And it's the same with that. Yes, it's a cheesy tune, but let's face it, it's catchy and it's stuck in your head, and hence you brought it to mind. I can't even remember where I was going now. What I was saying, I completely lost the plot, and I blame John entirely. Oh, I was saying about Quo. Yeah, but he kept that. Even though the bass player was out of time, the drummer was out of time, he was the one that kept it together, which is an incredible thing to do as a rhythm guitarist, because you're supposed to rely on the bass and drums. But he was the one. And he was an incredible player. You listen to Mystery Song by Status Quo, and he actually wrote that and on cocaine. And they left him in the studio playing that fantastic riff. They left him and came back the next day and he was still playing it, and he didn't realise it was like 12 hours later and he was still playing it because he was on speed and cocaine and stuff. But a fantastic riff. Just listen to Mystery Song by Status Quo and you'll know what I mean by a great rhythm guitarist. I think, Quo get mocked, and but wrongly so. Look at that, 2 people who saw Status Quo. Unbelievable. First band I ever saw, but not my first gig. I'm not sure I understand that. Unless, of course, you were in a band yourself. But anyway, yeah, please check this album out. The production on this, the tightness of the playing, it's just a fantastic little record. Fantastic. Look at that, John. Status Quo fans. None of them have. Oh, there you go. You see. Right. So these were just, blah blah blah. I keep repeating that these were like pulled off at random. Now then, there came a point in the 80s where, as a teenager, I got to the back-to-back album, and enough was enough. There was one good track on the album, as far as I was concerned, and that was the heavy No Contract track. After that, I was like, you are kidding me. They did the Wanderer and stuff. Like, no, that's it, I'm out of here. Aha, there you go. Now, the Anniversary Waltz, I do have a copy of, but it's not something I bought for time, it's just something I bought in a little collection of charity shop rubbish a few years ago. Now, I thought, well, I didn't pay anything for it, so I just added it to the collection. Four times in the 80s. You guys, you're far more musical than I am, I'm sure. Far more into music than me. I kind of sometimes feel like I'm winging it amongst all of you people. Okay. Let's go a little bit of Mama Cass. Now, why did I pull this? Just because I could. He was just sitting there. But what I wanted to say about this album was the last track, and in fact the last two tracks, Burn Your Hatred and Sweet Believer. Yeah, exactly. It's that time for me as well in the army now. Well, the track in the army now is actually a very good track. It's a cover version from a Dutch band, but and I think it's sort of over time as you mature, it seems to get better. My poor young teenage ears were like, "What are you doing?" I want to hear "Hello" again. I want to hear that stuff again. But anyway, this album I think is a lovely thing. Now, Mamas and Papas, do we really? Yes, I like it now. Exactly. It's a great track. The Mamas and Papas don't really get spoken about again, do they? Let's face it, we're all kind of like a little bit past it. We're like, yeah, that was something we were into when we were young and we heard on the radio. We know a few of our classic songs. I don't know. He's saying it's not a good song. I think it is a good song. Yeah, let's have a big argument there. But it's just one of those. It's not quo, but when I hear it now, actually, I'm not offended. Yeah, but her voice, I mean, please agree with me on this. Her voice is just, we're going to get to pantomime levels. Her voice is absolutely, I mean, it's her voice is just so fluid, isn't it? There's a beauty to her voice. There's a real beauty to her. It's really hard to say this when I'm reading this stuff. But yeah, there's a real beauty, a sort of mellifluous quality. There's a kind of ringing clarity, and it's just exceptional. And for me, those two songs, Burn Your Hatred and Sweet Believer, now that I'd love to hear. Do a quick teacher impression voice in your next video. That would be fantastic. I can understand why you wouldn't pay much attention to her, because maybe her songs maybe a little bit middle of the road and a bit poppy at times. This is the best album that I've heard of hers. I mean, she didn't do much. But her voice is exceptional. And I think, there's a whole world of music out there, and there's no time to kind of listen to everything. There's no time to listen to everything, of course. But it's definitely worth, if you get 5 minutes, just listen to Sweet Believer. It's about dying, and it's kind of sad really when you knew how, she didn't really have much longer to live herself, which is a tragedy. I mean, this woman could have gone on to great, even greater things, for things she could have recorded. I always find it a travesty when people are kind of taken from us so young. I really don't. I kind of like, no, why? But there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, just wonderful, wonderful stuff. And I think it's a great little album. This Dream, a Little Dream. Wonderful. Wolf King of LA is a lovely, lovely record. I don't have the original. I missed out recently on getting one for like 12 quid on eBay in the UK, and I was like, oh, I would love to have had that. I missed out on it. I just forgot to get to the end of the auction. I just have a CD of that. But those first few songs on that album again, gorgeous, gorgeous. Anyway, let me see what else I pulled off the shelf. I've got a bit of a stack here. Now, some of you are going to think, oh my goodness, please stop. But I'm going to go with it anyway. Just because there's a bunch of little 12 inches that I have together. And I think for me, I've said this on Instagram, and John will say, well, yes and no. This is an emotion, obsession. Now, for me, one of the best songs of the 80s, absolutely classic. There's an Obsession dub on the B-side, which is kind of ridiculous. But 6 minute, it says dance, Obsession dance, 6 minute, 12-inch version. But it is an absolutely timeless tune. This particular one is it is a dance version, but all it is, it's got loads of electric guitar all the way, all over it. So you hear the actual song kind of single, and then they just stretch it out with a huge guitar solo. And they just keep playing the same backing, of course, but it's beautiful. And I think for me, this is one of the top songs of all time. Because I can't help but put it on and go, I just love it. There's just something about it. There's something about the words. There's something about the sound of it. It's not like tinny, cheesy 80s production. It's just a wonderful, wonderful tune, as John so correctly said. And other people are saying, stop. But yeah, this is a lovely track. And those of you, I mean, you probably must all know it. You've probably heard it on the radio from time to time. But it's one of those, again, I just had to have a vinyl copy of it. And the way to get it is on that 12. Here's another interesting 12. This is Viva Beat, Man from China. Oh my goodness. Imagine being down the pub with you, John. Okay. Viva Beat, Man from China. Does anyone know this? This is a lovely little track as well. It's just got a great hook to it, and the synth in this is wonderful. Yeah, no, I don't know if you're talking about this or that or whatever, but anyway, this is a great little track. Viva Beat, Man from China. Lovely stuff, and highly recommend it. Let me do one more 12-inch, whether you like it or not. Vision. This is Tears, Idle Tears, and on the B-side, Lucifer's Friend. Again, I know what I like when I hear it, and you can buy both of these in the on different kind of. Lucifer's Friend was actually a single before this, but this is the best way to get it. You get the best version of Tears, Idle Tears, plus you get Lucifer's Friend. This was actually remixed by Martin Russian, and it's a great, great track. Classic 80s kind of pop music, but kind of slightly gothic, slightly new wave, slightly not Human League. But it's how do you describe it? It's not kind of Duran Duran, but it's kind of got a kind of slightly epic quality to it. Tears, Idle Tears, just really great. And Lucifer's Friend is a better track, actually. It's about a vampire, sucking the blood. Kind of silly lyrics, but the tunes are just superb. No, that's not an oxymoron. Maybe in my case, yeah, maybe in my case it might be poxymoron. It's the stuff I come out with sometimes. It's just like, where is this guy coming from? Anyway, I need a sip here because I've been going nearly an hour. This is a great record. Pete Shelley, of course, who died fairly recently. Homo Sapiens. Now, of course, I mean, unbeknownst at the time, of course, I think he was bisexual, and this wasn't something that was kind of like publicized or spread abroad at the time. But the Homo Sapiens song is actually about falling in love with his Buzzcocks bandmate, and not being able to kind of have that kind of love reciprocated, if you like. Because he felt that real love for that guy, but he couldn't obviously get it reciprocated because the guy was interested in women. But he also it talks about the power of friendship and the power of something which you don't really hear so much now, maybe about the closeness of male friends. You can be very close with men, and you don't have to have that kind of those connotations which perhaps are suggested more nowadays. But yeah, this is a fabulous record to me. There are 3 or 4 incredible songs on here. The Homo Sapiens song itself, really catchy, wonderful song. Definitely check out this. For me, I generate a feeling. I don't know what it is. It's Hard Enough Knowing are incredible pieces of music, which have that kind of emotion, that longing, that kind of desperation to them. And there's just some sort of heartfelt yearning in those songs. Not every song is particularly great. 1 or 2 are a little bit kind of, to my ears, a little bit kind of, set me back slightly. I don't really kind of set me on edge slightly. I don't really like the sound of it. But those particular songs are just wonderful. I think once you hear them, they kind of get into your head. They're not necessarily the most instantly catchable, but there are hooks and melodies and underlying things that he does with his music, which kind of elevates them and stick deep within you. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. And a couple of others. I'm kind of running out of what I pulled off. Oh yeah, I was going to show some, whether you like it or not, maybe show some singles as well. Do I show this? Is it worth showing this album? Yeah. Just because it happened to be next to the other one. Cool for Cats, Squeeze, another great record. I think for me, Up the Junction, Goodbye Girl is the song. It's always one of my favourite songs of ours. I mean, I love Up the Junction, Slap and Tickle, and Cool for Cats, but Goodbye Girl, that for me is that best. Yes, 45s. More 45s, VC, more. Yeah, another great album. You've probably all got a copy of this somewhere, languishing on a shelf, which gets pulled off every now and then. Yes, it is so English. James Griffiths did that terribly English records. He did actually say to me, he heard me say that I was going to do one. He was like, I can't believe it, you actually preempted me, but he just uploaded his video. Oh, it's good to see you, Eric, and I hope you don't have to work too hard, although I know that kind of work is hard work. So be well. Nice to see you, and nice to have you drop by. Um, yeah, it's a great, great record, of course. And I think it's such a shame, but again, they're one of those bands that didn't, and James is going to disagree hugely here, that didn't kind of sustain that kind of initial, wow, this is an amazing band. I mean, they kept it going for a couple of albums, a bit like Madness, and they had that kind of quirky English humour. It was very kind of tongue-in-cheek and very, sort of cheeky boy humour. It's difficult to sustain that over a long period of a career, I suppose. And I think, you always go back to the early stuff because it's difficult as you get older to kind of keep writing that kind of stuff, I suppose, to keep connecting, to keep doing it. I think you should have a word with James Griffiths. I think he may beg to differ. But I'm going to say it, a bit like Queen. Great singles only. And he also would beg to differ that as well. I'm sure John might kind of get on board, I don't know. But a great singles band. Just like Queen. Okay. I'm going to show one more. I don't know if Steve is still here. People kind of drop in and out. You just don't know if they're still watching, if they're still around. There's a copy of Juicy Lucy's Lie Back and Enjoy It. Yeah, I would as well. All day long. Now here is the cover. It opens up into a big six-way gatefold. And of course, this is where you get Mickey Moody pops up for the first time. He's later in Whitesnake, of course. Who else we got on here? Chris Mercer, Rod Coombs is on here, drummer. Yeah, it is an amazing cover. It's Vertigo Swirl, of course. Completely different to our first album. Some of the personnel changed, and as a result, it became a little bit more kind of slightly country blues. That is a phenomenal, and I wish I'd have known this years ago. I wish I had the internet when I was younger. There's a phenomenal piece of footage on YouTube, live footage of them. And I think it's even from the gig where this gatefold is taken, the live shot. To actually see them performing tracks live, it brings them to life, of course, and it just gives them that sort of wow. The stuff that leaps off this record leaps out of the screen, and you just see how great they were. A bit like seeing Family live, and you saw actually what they were like live in the Glastonbury Fair video. They were amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, you need to see their first album, and then you'll know who Juicy Lucy is. She's spread-eagled across the cover. Anyway, great little record. I think it's marred. So there's a cover of Willie the Pimp on here, Frank Zappa's Willie the Pimp, which is like probably I don't know if it's ever been covered again, but it's the same year, or just a year after I think he released that album, and they covered it. But theirs is far more kind of, simple. It hasn't got all the kind of complexities and stuff going on around and sprawling about. But they do give it a good kind of beef hearty and kind of growl and a kind of dirty, gritty feel again. Great stuff. Worth checking out. I don't think it's as good as their first album, but it's a different beast altogether. None of their other albums are worth having. Simple as that. They did a couple more anyway. One was called Pieces, which just summed it up. It was just the last one is bits and bobs. And one was called Get a Whiff of This, with the most appalling cartoon cover you've ever seen in your life. Not a very good record at all. This actually does have some great tracks. Built for Comfort is really kind of bluesy and kind of grimy. Great stuff. Anyway, I'll show a few singles and then I'll probably get off because people are disappearing fast and it's probably getting late and people are doing other things. It's a Friday night after all. And there's probably someone else on which is more interesting and more entertaining than me. All right. Here's a copy of the Arcadians. I don't know. Oh, no, I can't do this. I need to get this in daylight. The Arcadians, Chinese Doll, and With All Our Loving. This is a very rare French, am I saying French? Maybe Belgian, synth track. And it's a great, great piece of music. Definitely worth having a listen to if you can find a copy of it. Or just listen to online. The Arcadians, With All Our Loving. Great little piece, that one. Kind of minimal synth, if you're into minimal synth. This is a great disco single. And don't balk at the word disco and go, oh my goodness, what is this going on? Getting It, Giving Back the Feeling by Dwayne Clark. It's a 6-minute single, which is a lot for a single pressed onto a 45, but a great track. Quite an influential track, actually. Made waves, very collectible, 1977 single. Exceptional stuff. Not your everyday thing that you see in the BT. What else have I got here? Just pull a couple out. Oh, this is a nice little single. This is Vern Brandon. Got Another Reason and Let Me Be the One. This actually has an appearance by Jimmy Page. It's one of his session musician period from the mid-60s. It's a great little rocker with a fantastic little guitar solo break from yours truly, from the man himself. Vern Brandon, Got Another Reason. Nice catchy little up-tempo kind of rocker, that one. From 65, I believe. Forgive me, 62. That's how early that is. So a couple more. This is quite a nice one. It's a difficult thing to find over here. This is, yes, he did. But it's difficult to find them. Because nowadays everyone goes, oh, it's, Jimmy Page is on this, and so the price inflates. And it's quite difficult. I mean, not everything he played on was great. Of course, like Richie Blackmore singles, he set all over the 60 singles. Some of them are worth checking out. That is a particularly good little number. This is Bowie, Rebel Rebel. Now, what's good about this one is this is the US version, and so it has covered in phasing and effects, unlike the UK one. It's also shorter. It's better because of it. It's just a fantastic little one. Hello, Ben. It's a shame you're coming so late. You know, I mean, I've shown all these albums you've probably quite liked. But anyway, what am I listening to? This is stuff I did a few years ago with my one-finger keyboard skills. So that way, you see, I wasn't going to get copyright strike or anything silly like that because it's just me going. Yeah, Rebel Rebel. Yeah, fantastic with the phasing. So much better. What a great little track that is. It just, you know, I think it's too long as a UK version on the album. But with all the phasing, wow, it just takes it to another place, doesn't it? It's just a great, great single. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame, Ben, that you've turned up and you've been showing some quality stuff. Okay, I'm going to just show this. It's so difficult to see in this light. I Got You Now by Zacatec. Now, this is a glam rock song. This single sells for about £100. It's written by Lindsay DePaul, but it's because of it's for the strength of it and the quality of it. And this is a really unusual piece of music, but it's powerful. It's kind of it's not glam rock in terms of sort of like Gary Glitter or something, which is kind of like stomping. This has got a kind of almost bombastic sort of feel to it, and a great vocalist. I Gotcha Now by Zacatec. Great little single, that one. Executive summary from it. Well, we showed a bit of Juicy Lucy. You might not like half of this stuff, actually. A bit of Malakas, East of Eden. Headhunters, a bit of Miles Davis. Who else? A bit of Arlo Guthrie. Miller Anderson. Oh my goodness. Free. All sorts of different stuff. You don't have to watch it again. It's a heck of a long one. With all of its blurriness as well. Shack Attack. No. But then, are Shack Attack really that bad? I don't know. Okay. I showed Shack Up by Banbury the other day. I've got another couple of those here. So, pull something else out. Well, this is a nice little single. I believe actually I may have shown this once. This is Natty Dread Girl by Linval Thompson. Oh, how about that? Maybe he is the later fiddler. He wasn't the fiddler on the first couple of albums. Natty Dread Girl by Linval Thompson. What a lovely little reggae tune that is. It's just a beautiful little lilting track, and not offensive in any way, but also very engaging. I mean, every time you play it, just does something. It kind of warms you up a little bit. It's got a lovely feel to this song. Anyway, this is just me rattling on. I'll show a couple more. This is taken out of the cover because it's the wrong cover. It's so impossible to see. I'm going to probably go back to not doing live videos. Yes, from the third. Probably not do the live videos because the picture quality is really bad. Yes, fantastic. You're obviously dropping it. Maybe someone else is on at the same time. And that's what's happening here. Maybe Dead Wax 66. I know he usually goes on about 11 o'clock at night, our time. The People Passing By High Society. This is actually written by Mr. Gouldman from 10cc later on. And has a lovely 60s pop sound. Again, quite a hard single to find. It's not the most desirable single in the world. But those people who know it love it because it has that quintessential 60s swinging London sound. People Passing By High Society from 1966. Yeah, definitely check him out. And on a similar kind of look, we have Rock Steady by the Marvels. Another great reggae tune, rock steady tune. That is one of the best. This is on Pama Supreme. Cool. Lovely stuff. And I'll show one more. I think I showed this a long time ago. Just because. It's Bridget Bardot, Harley Davidson, and Contact. One of the best singles of all time. The B-side is probably better than the A-side. This is on AZ disc, French thing. I know there's a video available, of course, of her doing this shot and with the song itself, and also the Contact song as well. The video of that, Serge Gainsbourg written, and great pieces. I think they're just wonderful songs. They're so stripped back and just wonderful. great little tunes. And to hear them on 45, it is, you know what it's like. They sort of leap out of a speaker and just brilliant because of that. Anyway, I'll probably get off, because these videos go on and on and on. And people are probably getting sick of seeing me. Anyway, that's it. And it was great to have you all stop by. I don't know what happened. Some of you kind of came and went and disappeared. And some of you came and never appeared. Yes, ooh la la, exactly. I don't know if that's a ooh la la. But definitely check out the videos. Brigitte Bardot, Harley Davidson. Just great to watch and contact. Great videos. Anyway, I think I will probably leave it with that. Loving your workout. When this lighting gets better and I can use a different, maybe I'll have to invest in a web camera, and then we can actually have a bit of fun and it'll be clear and you can actually see what I'm doing. All right, I'll have to get off then and leave you all to it. It's getting late. Enjoy yourselves, enjoy what's left of your evenings, and to all those who are in America, I'll see you in a few hours. And maybe you want to comment. I'll see you all later. Cheers.